Matthew was a very loved child. He was an 18-year-old American boy like everybody else in this country.
Normal boy.
When he was born, just the cutest little baby with big brown eyes.
He was a handsome little boy, and he was very happy all the time.
He was such a free spirit. He was so happy all the time, and he had a smile to die for.
I remember Matt's smile, boy, I'll tell you something.
He was a charmer. Yeah, those eyes of his could probably get him in a lot of trouble.
He was always involved, he likes being involved in sports.
We used to play basketball, paintball.
And he was always a scrapper, though. That's one thing we liked about him. If you picked on him, he'd pick on your back.
Someone to always talk to, personal relationships, someone to depend on.
He was a great person, lots of fun.
I miss him. I miss him every day of my life.
We called him Matthew, we called him Matt. The kids, the girls a lot called him Matty, but he was my Matt. And he loved to fool around with the kids and wrestle with the boys, and he and Annie were very, very close because they were the closest in age, and those two, they were like two peas in a pod. But unfortunately, apparently he was having trouble sleeping, and he was having bad dreams and waking up and starting to have like panic attacks. That's when I said to him, Matt, maybe it would be helpful if you talked to somebody outside of the family, would you want to do that? So I made an appointment with him. So we go in there, and she sits down with us, and after no more than 15 minutes of talking with Matthew and asking some questions, she gives us samples of Lexapro. So I said, what about side effects? I said, what should we expect from something like this? And she says, well, they're very well tolerated. And she said, they could have like headache or nausea or maybe some insomnia. So we went home with our sample pack of Lexapro, and at that point, he stopped wanting to talk. He seemed to be withdrawing more. This was weird behavior for him. Well, a lot was happening at this time also, and he was graduating from high school. Of course, the big plan, the kids they go to Senior Beach Week. He didn't want to go. He wanted to go visit his brother. And off he went. The day that he was supposed to be coming home, it was around 1 o'clock. I hadn't heard from him yet. He was supposed to call me when he finally left. Later on, I guess it was after I got off work, I called, and he didn't answer. But a little while later, he called me back, and he said, he might have said he was almost to North Carolina. It was about 11:30, and I called. He said, I'm fine, I just passed Roanoke. I woke up at around 2:30, kind of jumped up at the clock, and realized he should have been home an hour ago. So I called the cell phone and went straight to voicemail. I kept calling and calling. I'm like, Matthew, answer the friggin' phone. I was like so upset. Fell asleep, woke up again. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. He still wasn't home. I didn't know what to do. I started getting ready for work. Went to work. I could hardly function. I went, told my boss I have to go home. Get in the door, phone's ringing. And there's this man on the other end, and he said, I'm looking for the family of Matthew Stubing. I said, this is his mother. Who's this? And he said, I'm calling about the jumping.